You wouldn't be here today if you didn't already believe that big data was a pretty big deal. But you also wouldn't be here today if you didn't believe that big data was a big problem. It's complicated, it's difficult to ingest and to digest, it's hard to analyze, and even the best tools that we have for ingesting and managing it, Apache Hadoop, are too complicated to use. This is a huge problem. If we can't solve it, we run the risk of drowning in the data that's available to us, of failing to answer the big questions that as an industry, as a society, we need to ask. Now, I'm optimistic. I think that the platform is going to evolve in fundamental ways over the course of the next few years. I think it's going to get easier to use, better at the job that it does, that it's going to be more applicable to big data problems than ever before. But do me a favor. Ask yourself, if you were designing Hadoop from the ground up today, if you were inventing this platform from a clean sheet of paper, what would you do differently? How would you design it to better address the problems that confront us? I think if we can do that, we can answer questions that matter tremendously to society. We can attack big data in important new ways. Carl Sagan had a remarkable gift for synthesizing complex information from many places and digesting it into a form that was consumable by individual people. It is a tremendous skill. I love this quote. I think it's a perpetual truth. No matter how much territory we cover, no matter what we discover, no matter what we learn, we are always on the edge, we are always on the border of new knowledge. There is always something beyond our current understanding that we can learn. It is that reason that I am so excited to be working in this industry today. I think that we are poised on the edge of major discoveries that matter for business and for society. I want to give you a few examples of how we've seen big data attack big problems for society already. The first example is a simple one. The Large Hadron Collider in CERN, Switzerland, cranks out 27 billion terabytes of data, 27 terabytes of data every single day. Actually, it generates considerably more than that, but once it's filtered for interesting events and meaningful interactions of particles, it's reduced to 27 terabytes. That 27 terabytes is further analyzed by scientists who produce yet another 10 terabytes of data. 37 terabytes of data every single day stream out of this device. And what's it done? Well, just this year, we discovered that, in fact, the Higgs boson exists. We understand now, in a fundamental way, why particles have mass. We have an answer for how it is the universe manages to exist. The data that comes out of this system gets distributed around the world to researchers who want to analyze it for research of their own. At the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, that data is captured in a Hadoop cluster, made available to researchers who want to explore fundamental physical questions of their own. It's an important big data problem. Healthcare is rife with big data. It is a ripe field for the exploration of data. Over the past 15 years, the Human Genome Project has produced a map of the 21,000 genomes that make you and me up, an understanding of what it is to be human, and that information is being exploited to understand the onset and progress of disease and to design new treatments. And that's hugely powerful. You are 1 trillion cells. Your hair and your blood and your muscles and your bones and your skin and everything that makes you up. 1 trillion cells. And every single one of them contains that same genome. It is essentially you. It is the 21,000 genes that define who you are. But in fact, you are only packaging for the 100 trillion cells that ride along. There are 100 trillion organisms in your gut, on your skin, the bacteria that live in your stomach that help you to digest food, that maintain the pH balance of your internal chemistry. And if you really want to understand disease, you need to understand how all of that works. Every time you eat, when you get sick, when you feel stress, when you get better, that genome changes. A project recently launched called the Human Microbiome Project is sequencing that genome and understanding how it varies over time and watching how it behaves in an individual is going to give us new ways to understand and treat disease. And Hadoop-based tools, for example, Bowtie and Crossbow for sequence alignment and for homology search, were critical, and the Human Genome Project will be just as critical in the Human Microbiome Project. The National Cancer Institute, the NCI, will announce later today, I guess I'm announcing right now, has won the 2012 Government Big Data Award. The organization is using Hadoop and big data technology to understand the onset and treatment of cancer. Cancer isn't caused by a single gene. It's the interaction of multiple genes over time with the environment, and that's a complicated picture. That is hard to understand. If you can capture that picture and analyze it, you can, and the NCI is working hard to design new treatments to make people better. Cloudera's chief scientist, Jeff Hammerbacher, is working with scientists at the Mount Sinai Medical School to apply big data technology to understand the onset and progress of neurological disease. Across this spectrum, big data matters enormously. These are problems that we as individuals, that we as a society care deeply about. But they are just examples. What if, for example, we could capture data at the household level and make accurate predictions about the effects of a tax cut? What if we could build predictive models that helped us understand how to design better policy? What if we could create educational regimens that allowed us to teach millions of children around the world and still pay attention to the individual learning requirements of single kids? What if we could optimize the way we generate and distribute energy by looking at consumption at commercial and household levels, make it when we needed it, and get it to the places that needed it? These are big data problems that are within our purview. The reason that we can do these things is that Hadoop, as a big data platform, coalesces your data, gathers it together in one place, makes it consumable in ways that were not previously true. You can put it all in one repository, and you can build comprehensive analytics that explore it. But as powerful, as useful, as innovative as MapReduce is for doing that data analysis, it has a critical problem. It's too slow, it's too cumbersome, it's too hard to program. It is difficult to ask real-time interactive questions of the platform. And that means it simply can't be pointed at critical problems that we've got. And that is why we are thrilled today to announce the Impala project. Cloudera has been working on this for nearly 2 years in the laboratory. Impala is a 100% open source Apache licensed real-time query engine fully integrated with Hadoop. It allows you to take advantage of all of the power of MapReduce, all that analytic power that the system has been delivering for years, get that batch mode analysis workload handled, and equally, at the same time and in concert, ask speed of thought queries of your data. You can ask a question, get an instantaneous answer, consider that answer, design a new question, and ask again. It gives you a new way to get at your data, and the data doesn't move. It runs on HBase, it runs on HDFS, it complements MapReduce, it is a 100% open source addition to the platform. Nearly 2 years in the lab, delivered today on the website under an Apache license for download. And for the past 2 quarters, we've been in a private beta with some of our biggest customers. One example, a global agricultural company is in the business of selling seeds, of designing new genetic traits to make plants grow better, and of producing crop protection chemicals, pesticides and fertilizers to make crops grow better. These folks are in the business of attacking hunger. The world's population is growing from 7 billion to 9 billion. Making sure that we can feed those bellies is a critical social problem. The researchers at this company need to make it possible to produce more food in the next few decades than we have produced in the 10,000 years previous altogether. Think about that. They've had terrible problems. Their data has been siloed, stored in many different systems and hard to combine. Their researchers have been siloed. They haven't been able to collaborate, to share results, to ask questions of all the data, and to design new hypotheses. Together, Cloudera, Hadoop, and Impala have knocked down those silos. It is now possible for researchers to explore their data, to build predictive models, to ask questions, to share results. It allows more automation of the discovery process, and it allows humans to concentrate on what they do best. It allows them to design and test important hypotheses. These are crucial problems for us as a society. We've been in business for more than 4 years. I am hugely optimistic at the potential for big data and at the progress of the open source Hadoop platform that we use to attack it. We're thrilled to release Impala. We invite you to download, to use, to get involved. But it's important for all of us to remember that this platform is really just technology, and it needs to be applied to meaningful problems. We need to ask bigger questions than ever before. If you're military or police, where are the terrorists? Where are they going to strike next? What can we do to intervene? If you're a banker, who's committing fraud? How can we intervene to stop that? If you're any of us, how are we going to make more clean energy? How are we going to get it to the places that it needs to be? We must find ways to answer these questions. The platform, we believe, is going to enable it, but it is our responsibility as a society to ask those questions because we desperately need the answers. Thank you.